Yeah.
How often do you get to do voice work that allows you to do some serious cursing?
Serious cursing?
I mean, like real cursing.
Occasional, I guess. It just depends on the anime and whatever.
Yeah, it depends on
A lot of the games there are.
Games, because the rated M games, of course, you can say certain things, but it's, you know, it depends on the story and the audience they're geared towards. You know, when it happens, it happens. I'm not a big fan of cursing, so it's not like you gotta have it in order to, I think there's ways to work around it, so, you know, whatever. It's like, if it's there and you curse, it's no big deal, and if you don't curse, it's no big deal, and we're all good.
Yes.
Reuben, if they ever make a DMC movie, would you be willing to like reprise Dante as like the
Absolutely, because I know with a big live-action movie comes a big live-action paycheck. And any kind of, you know, no, I love the character. I don't know if you guys saw the commercial I did. What is this? Yeah, let's play the commercial.
Oh, not that one. Yes, that one. No, go back. Please, I saw that when I was in Japan. When we were there, I saw that. Hold on. Start the party!
Yes, that one too, please.
Oh, awesome.
That's amazing.
So that commercial was done all in live action. They dyed my hair. The only thing CG I think were the bullet rounds, the shells coming out of the guns, and then of course the backgrounds were kind of replaced. We shot that on green screen. So I thought it was really fun, and you know, I'd love to be called in to do the role, but as far as I know, from what I've heard down the rumors down the pipeline, is that the movie that has been announced by Sony is going to be based on the reboot, which would mean that's going to be, you know, hey John, you look kind of like the guy. Get your hair kind of doing the thing.
That's too much Asian in me.
I don't know. So anyways, it's probably not going to happen. But if they ask me, yes, I would definitely be up for it. How about you with the Dante hair in the back?
I was wondering, seems like in the Ultimate Crisis series, like they refuse to acknowledge the second game in timeline, and I'm assuming that's because it's terrible, but I just want to know, like, officially, like, where it fits in and why it seems like they don't ignore it all the time.
Yeah, so the question was, Capcom refused to announce acknowledge that 2 existed in the timeline for the Devil May Cry 7, which is true, yes. The director of Devil May Cry 2, the same director as 3 and 4, he actually was not proud of the work. It was a very rushed job. He was brought in, I think, kind of halfway through, and they had to rush it out. They would say Capcom forced them to rush the game, and he wasn't happy with it. I don't think the Devil May Cry team, they weren't very happy with it. So yeah, it kind of didn't happen, and they just pretend like it didn't happen. And
I'm rapping.
I actually remember in the school of DMC that they said, that never happened. It doesn't exist.
Don't ever mention 2.
You remember well. Good to see
Like, oh.
Next question, you sir in the glasses. That's you. Oh, wait, there's another guy in glasses. Okay, okay, blue hair glasses. Boy again?
What is your favorite Devil May Cry game?
what is each of our favorite?
Each of our favorite Devil May Cry.
DMC 4.
Yeah. I'm actually, I like 4, I love 4. I like Dante's character in 4 more than 3, but I like 3. I just like the storyline in 3. No, nothing against Johnny here. but yeah, I think my favorite is 3. Yes, you start with the glasses and the cap.
Can you explain like some of the subtle differences between doing animation in video games and referencing? Which one do you have more freedom?
I'll let Johnny tackle that. He does more anime than I do.
There's definitely more freedom in doing video games than there are in anime. Because anime, you're already limited by the picture. So if your character is screaming, you have to make that character sound like screaming, or if they're laughing, you have to make them laugh. Whereas with, even just with Devil May Cry 4, it was a script. And so, in fact, when I read the script the first time, I read it, and I knew of the first game. So I knew the Dante in that, and I just thought, as I read it, I was like, wow, Nero could be played very much like Dante, and then I thought that'd be weird to have 2 Dantes, and I kind of was panicking actually, and I went to Yuji and I was like, I'm not 100% where I should be placing this character, and I just kind of like talking, and I don't even know if he was paying attention to everything I was saying, but then he just kind of stopped me, and he's like, you are Nero, and then he walked away. And that was it, and then I was like, and then to me, I was assuming this is what he meant, was like, I just need to play it the way I think it should be played. And so, again, so I just basically made choices, and the nice thing is you really have the freedom to do whatever, I want him to cry here, or I want him to scream here, or whatever, I'll make it happen like that, or play it out this way. And then, obviously, they'll guide me if it doesn't feel right. So yeah, there's definitely more freedom in games.
What he said.
Yes.
What is your favorite line from your characters, from Nero or Dante? Favorite line that they say, excuse me.
Favorite line from the game?
And with Reuben, it could be a 3 or 4, whichever one.
I had a personal attachment to a series of lines that probably, let me see if I can find it here. While I'm trying to find it, let Johnny explain.
I don't know exactly. I mean, there's a lot of cool moments in there. Like the moment when Katie is being pulled away and he cries out to her or whatever. Or now I know what this hand was made for, that? Sending guys like you back to hell. So sounds bad, doesn't it? If I just say the first act, it's like, that's awkward. I can't think of anything specific at the moment.
Did you enjoy?
Or the way, actually, there's a cool moment, I think, with gosh, what's the guy's name? The weirdo scientist guy?
Agnes,
yes,
there you go.
And he stuttered, right? And there's a line in there that Nero says, what are you going to make fun of the way I talk? And I thought, well, maybe I should try it as stuttering it back to him. What are you going to make fun of me by the way I talk? And I did it that way, and it felt right, and Yuji liked it, and yeah.
So we get the lights, I'll go ahead and play this scene. The audio, now the big scene in this, Capcom, because they don't speak English, they tend to overpower the audio.
Yeah.
So
It's like a background music, the M&E and all that stuff.
So it's kind of, especially Devil May Cry, we've kind of gotten on to them about it, and they're doing better with their other games. But anyway, this scene, you can try to recognize the audio. I had my, actually co-wrote, oh, it's not, definitely not. Co-wrote the scene, and kind of tells you where my mind is, usually. All right, hold on, I gotta repitch things. Because of the, wait a minute. Stop it. That's not all you do. All right. Damn it. I just lost it. No, all right. I had a hard set. No. No. All right, here we go. You can't tell the right there.
This is what I think it is.
In the end, we're all satisfied, and that really is true. Life in general. And so you'll have to go online and figure out what he said. Sorry.
I think they got like that. You can basically watch the whole movie.
They got the subtitles.
Of it, right?
Yeah, there's
like on YouTube or something.
That's a terrible way, though.
So that was mine anyways. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Description of how to use the weapon.
Question? Yes.
Was it harder to do motion capture for Devil May Cry or Resident Evil?
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the question is, was it more difficult to do the motion capture for Devil May Cry or Resident Evil? I played Chris in Resident Evil. I started doing him in Code Veronica, and then as well in Resident Evil 5. Good question. There's certain elements in both that were kind of difficult. I'd say Devil May Cry 3 was more difficult because it was my first time being Dante. It was the first time, I guess, being a hero of that caliber, I guess, because of everybody on the production team had a certain idea of how Dante should act and perform and do things, and I was trying to live up to that, and I was getting a million different directions from, the director was giving me directions, the producers and Capcom, and everybody had an idea or opinion on how the character should be, and I was trying to listen to everybody, and in the end I just kind of got so frustrated and ended up listening to myself. And I did what I thought was right, and then that's when Yuji came to me, and he was like, yeah, that's what we want, you're doing it, you get that now. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take direction from you, and I kind of blocked out all the other people. So that was difficult in that sense, because I was being over-directed by a lot of different people. And you probably had some of that as well.
Yeah, there was, and then because like the language things, like sometimes someone would try to explain it, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I understood what Yuji was saying. But like they over-explained it, and I'm like, one thing I remember though, I don't know why I thought of it, but like I remember they were having, like we had, when your character is idle and then they do things or whatever, twirl a gun or whatever it is, right? And he had to do his stuff, like my stuff was just like whatever, like it was like, okay, yeah, no problem. And then he had some like really weird stuff, and he called me over, he's like, hey, we don't do this, and I mean, he spent a lot of time in Japan, so maybe he's just like, he understands it, but like, it was like weird. It was, do you remember the taunt? I remember just like this.
Like, he had these different taunts, and one of them was like this. Right? Now he wanted to act exactly like this.
I'm like, well, no, it looks like you're trying to take a dump. And it's not threatening at all for us.
Yeah, no, because, so I spent 5 years in Japan, and I speak fluent Japanese, and for some reason, I'm explaining it to Japanese. I have to do this with Capcom all the time, and more with Capcom anyway, because it's kind of a family now. We've been working together for a long time. They kind of don't think I'm American, and they don't think I have a background or like where I grew up, and I told them, no, this is strange. In America, we don't do this. No, you're Reuben. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not American. You don't understand anything. I'm like, no, I really think this is weird, and we shouldn't do this. No, of course do it. And then I had to stop, okay, Johnny, Dan, everybody, DJ, come over here and explain to these guys that this is ridiculous. And then they're all shaking their head, it looks like you're taking it down.
Oh, even squatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they squat different there, too.
Here we go.
We would do this, right? Or we would like kneel or whatever, and they just pose or whatever. It's like, it's a weird, it's like, we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that, but they think we do. They won't take my word for it.
Too Japanese.
So, yeah, a lot of battles go on during these main parts of these games. Anyways, I can go on for hours. Next, let's you with the years.
I didn't have any other chance to ask you, but are you anything about the paranormal panel?
Yes, by the way, we're doing another kind of UFO, ET, and going to get into the paranormal realm a little bit tonight at, what time? 9:15. 9:15 where? Same room as the other night, which is 2 rooms over here, connected. So yes, everybody, if you want to listen to some craziness, come on out.
It's always when I have to load our stuff up and plug everything in.
We'll make it. We'll figure it out after sometime. So, any other questions?
We went UFO hunting last night.
Yes,
or sky watching.
We saw a rattlesnake.
Yes, we did.
I think he was possessed by an alien.
It was.
Yeah.
Had really big eyes.
Yeah. Are rattlesnakes common in America?
Yes. Yes.
It's my first kind of rattlesnake in the wild. It was wild. Yes, ma'am.
Reuben, what's your favorite weapon that Dante uses? You know, the various weapons he uses in 3 and 4?
The favorite weapon.
And Jody, do you have a favorite weapon that...
Mine was the Sanchuk in 3. So when I 3, you get the Sanchuk. The 3...
Oh, the Beowulf. Yeah, the Beowulf one?
Yeah. That's my favorite. What's it called?
Oh, Cerberus.
Well, that's Cerberus.
Not Beowulf.
You fight to get the Sanchuk, right? It's still called Sanchuk, right?
No, it's called the Cerberus in the
Okay.
English.
In Japanese, it's called the Sanchuk. There you go.
The Sancho? It's like Mexican.
They say nunchucks in Japanese is nunchaku. So then you take san, which is 3, and sanchaku. Sanchaku. So everybody do that. Oh, come on.
I think, Nero's arm, I think, is cool. The sword was kind of weird. It's cool, but it's weird. It's like, wait, do you have to, do that?
I've never really even used it, so you don't have to.
It's just kind of a cool thing. But his arm is like demonic Green Lantern or something.
Well, I mean, do you have a favorite weapon what Dante uses?
Oh, if I could pick, his ebony and ivory, whatever.
Oh.
I think those are cool. Question. Yeah, sorry. Back in the back. Either one of you. You lose. We'll go to you next.
What was it like, first, when Captain Dante from the Make History, when he was at the youngest point in the series, and then when Captain Ben Dante from the Make History, what was it like?
Yeah, it was really weird with Capcom because I did Devil May Cry 3, you know, finished the job. Then Devil May Cry 4 came along, and they were like, we're going to recast. And I'm like, huh? What? Why do you need to recast? Well, you know, Dante's older. He's like in his 30s now. I'm like, I'm in my 30s. No, you're way too young, you know. In Devil May Cry 3, he was 19-ish, he was in his late teens, and you know, you're too young now. I'm like, thank you. But really, I can do it. Let me do it. And I had to re-audition for the role, and both physically and again for the voice. And you know, I think maybe I have a younger sounding voice, but all I had to do was add a little rough into it. Nero, get over here. That kind of thing, and it wasn't that big of a deal, but I guess I still had to prove myself. But yeah, it wasn't like a given. It was work. This is the Devil May Cry panel, you know that. But we'll answer one Resident Evil question. No, I did not do the boulders. I wish I had. Everybody is talking about the boulders. I did not capture the boulders. I think that was done in-house at Capcom. There's a lot of little quick vignettes that are like 30 seconds or 10 seconds of, and this happens with a lot of the games, by the way. We capture all those cinematics, but Capcom, they have their own in-house capture studio, and they'll get some animator dude who's got a quick idea. He's like, oh yeah, Chris Redfield busting up boulders, that'd be awesome. And then I don't find out about it until the game's done, and I'm like, oh, that's odd. But no, do that, wasn't me. Yes, you and the, is that Chris Redfield kind of thing? Army dude?
No, if I do a BSA, that's like...
BSA?
Yeah. But, all the questions involved, you guys involved with weapons and stuff. How much weapon training do you guys go through for video?
What type of list do you have? What do you think?
Oh, specifically for Devil May Cry?
Devil May Cry or any other stuff you guys done, like I know he's done Chris Redfield for Original 5, like, do you go through, like, weapon training for that as well?
Well, I'm a martial artist, and I studied Shaolin Kung Fu, and there's a lot of weaponry in there. The odd thing for Devil May Cry 4 was that I had to do my sword with my left hand, and I'm used to using my right hand. And that took a little getting used to, because it was a little awkward for me. And then there's another game I did, yeah. I mean, we do occasionally go through that kind of training. We just have that kind of background, I think, really.
Yeah, for Resident Evil, I did extensive gun training and went to the range and did got certified in guns, and because of that, actually, now I own guns. I like guns now. I'd always, of course, loved guns and shooting people, but you know, it wasn't for Resident Evil, so I really got into it and killed a lot of people and a lot of zombies. That was cool. And, yeah, so now that's what I do on a daily basis when I'm not at cons. I kill people.
Pretty cool.
Sword-wise, actually for Devil May Cry 3, because I had more of a samurai sword background. Living in Japan, I did some like kendo stuff and a lot of samurai type sword training. So I wasn't too familiar with a double-sided kind of broadsword that Dante swung around. So I actually took classes and got in some specialized training for that, for Devil May Cry 3, just to get myself familiar with the do's and the don'ts. Even though it's just a crazy light sword that it's non-practical, but just to familiarize myself with that type of weapon. And that's kind of what happens for certain roles, or even for Avatar. I had to swing this crazy stick that got cut out of the final scene, but you can see it on the behind the scenes of the DVD. There's this big stick fight. I had to learn how to use this alien stick, and we had to create moves for it. So every job, whatever the job is, you kind of take lessons, figure it out. Johnny had to work with his left hand. So, but having a base, base martial arts, or something, that helps you get into it. I think we've got 5 minutes left. So we'll do 2 more questions and then we'll go into the tentacle porn. Which I'm trying not to blow right now.
Where do you hide the body?
Where do I hide the body? That's my little secret.
Ernest that go.
Question for you were talking about Devil May Cry 2 and like how they weren't happy with it. Was one of the reasons they weren't happy with Devil May Cry 2 is because Dante was always serious and didn't have that sense of
I'm sure there's many reasons. I just think it was because they were rushed, and there's probably a number of reasons. Really happy.
Also, I have a slight question. My friend said that Devil May Cry 2 takes place like way after 4. What's the deal with that?
Say again?
Is it true that Devil May Cry 2 takes place like years after 4 or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think the order that they were talking was Devil May Cry 3 was first, then Devil May Cry 1, and then Devil May Cry 4 was after 1, and then 2 didn't exist or it did like somewhere after that. So, how many of you guys have seen the tentacle, cool tentacle thing that Virgil did? And that Dan said, okay, just go ahead. We're going to show a little video here.
We were at AFO.
We were at AFO in Orlando, Anime Festival Orlando, a few months back. And our good friend, Dan Southworth, who plays Virgil, was there. And there he is. And this is what happened. Lights down. Just really quick, so the reason I have a big pool tentacle is Dan was in the hentai room and he was being exposed to some tentacle porn, and we thought it'd be a good idea to really, expose him.
Right there.
It gets better. to lay it down, but we'll take one or two more last questions. I know we got, we're done. All right, well, you'll have to cut
us off. All right. Thank you, guys.
the rest of it.
Yeah, just go on to YouTube. AFO Simple Play.